Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I watched the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever and wanted to drop a review on it. And I understand this is late, and I apologize for that as I've been busy with life recently. But anyway, now a quick warning, this video will contain spoilers, so if you don't want that, please click away from this video right now. Now, I just wanted to say this movie was the best possible movie they could have made given all the circumstances they dealt with. And to me, this is without a doubt the best thing to come out of Phase 4 that isn't Spider-Man No Way Home. And even then, it's pretty close. It was a perfect tribute to Chadwick Boseman and the character of T'Challa. The movie starts off with T'Challa having an illness off-screen and is dying from it. Shuri is trying to replicate the heart-shaped herb, yet is short and couldn't complete it before the illness takes T'Challa. It was a chilling way to start the film. They go to have a funeral, and then it cuts to 1 year later, where Queen Ramonda has taken the throne and is meeting with the UN and tells them they aren't going to be sharing any vibranium with the world after a country sent in mercenaries to an outreach center to rob them, and of course were stopped by the Dora Milaje. Then it goes to the Queen taking Shuri to a lake and burning the funeral garments as symbolism to starting a new chapter after grief. Shuri refuses as she is still mourning, and then they are met by the Namor, whose people stopped a US boat from finding his vibranium in the ocean, all because they used a tracker that was designed by Riri Williams to find vibranium. They find her and they take her back to Wakanda, or they attempt to before being chased down by the FBI and then getting taken underwater by the Talcon warriors. They take Shuri and Riri and leave Okoye, who returns to Wakanda and gets stripped of her title as general and member of Dora Milaje by the Queen. Shuri talks to Namor and he gives her a tour of Talcon, which is beautiful. They talk about the fate of Riri, but then Nakia, who was sent by the Queen, rescues them while Namor is talking to the Queen on the beach. This ends in a guard getting killed and Namor getting angry and declaring war on Wakanda by invading them and then killing the Queen as she drowned in their water inside the palace. And she was able to save Riri, though as her last doing. This leaves Shuri entirely alone and destroyed after losing her dad, brother, and now her mother. She uses a bead that was made from the stuff that gave the Talcons their powers originally and vibranium to create the artificial shaped herb and becomes the next Black Panther. But she also goes to the ancestral realm and sees not her mother or her brother or even father, but Killmonger instead, as he inspires her to take the revenge on Namor, which is what she planned to do. Riri builds a new Iron Heart suit. M'Baku, Nakia, and the rest of Wakandan's warriors heads out to sea to attack Namor. Riri gets Namor inside a ship and heats it up from the inside to drain him from his powers, which they discovered come from the water. So keeping him heated will weaken him. Though he gets to the ship to crash on a boat, and him and Shuri get into a really badass fight. Shuri almost kills him, but the voice of her mother comes up as she realizes revenge is not the way, similarly to T'Challa with Zemo in Civil War. She gets him to yield and doesn't kill him, and the Talcons and Wakandans form an alliance. And that's basically the summary of the movie. So, a lot to talk about here. It was mostly a great film. Let's start with Shuri's character. Such a great jump for her character. In the first movie, I thought she was a bit lackluster and just a side character. But in this one, she took a huge leap in development and growth all in one movie. And it was actually great. The character is so much more likable and much more than T'Challa's annoying sister. She is a person who's lost so much in this film and learns how to deal with her emotions without inciting revenge. The Edgar Wright's acting was truly beautiful, and I did not expect that from her, to be honest. But I'm glad I got to witness her excellence. But no acting in the movie compared to Angela Bassett's. Her role as Queen Ramonda was great and truly heart-wrenching, just proving how amazing of an actress she is. The scene where she yells at Okoye was so well done and was really sad and depressing. Namor, who was the antagonist of the movie, was a great one. It really matched Killmonger's excellence in the first one. A villain with a purpose that actually changes the hero's mind a bit. Now, whether he's better than Killmonger is debatable, but he's definitely on par with him in my opinion. The Talcon as a whole was great. I loved the exploration into that realm, which we haven't seen before. The actors and actresses as the warriors were great. All the costume designs for both the Talcons and the Wakandans were great, and they really deserve an Oscar for that alone. Now to talk about Riri Williams, or better known as Ironheart. Now, when I heard they were putting her into the MCU, I was a bit worried just because of how badly received that character was in the comics. But they actually changed her a lot in this film, and they made her actually likable. She made her own tech and didn't steal it from Tony Stark, like in the comics. I'm actually pretty excited for her series out now after this. Okoye was amazing. Her acting in that one scene where she loses her duties is amazing as well. Had a great development in her character and grew a lot. Nakia was great, like she was in the last film. M'Baku was underused, but still great regardless, and I loved every scene he was in. The visuals were solid. Some of the CGI wasn't great, but better than the first film, to be honest. And better than most of Phase 4, if we're being truly honest. The choreography, especially in the fight scenes, was amazing and beautiful. The music was great. I did like the actual album of the first one a bit more, but this one was good too. The soundtrack throughout it was used great and well. For a nearly 3-hour movie, it didn't feel that way, and was pretty fast-paced and does really well in that sense, to not feel dragged on. There were some great hints to the expansion of the MCU. Obviously, Ross's character deal with Val will lead into the Secret Invasion and eventually Thunderbolts. The mention of mutants again for the second time in the MCU with Namor. And the return of Killmonger seems possible now with the multiverse and his appearance here. So I hope that's true. Not to mention M'Baku also taking the role as king in Wakanda, which seemed to be what the case was at the end of the film. And the biggest thing was the end scene, which had T'Challa's son, who is also named T'Challa, so it could be a huge hint in the future to bring back T'Challa and a lot of his original storylines from the comics to explore, through his son. In conclusion, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It was great, especially for an MCU film. I love the serious tone of it, not as many jokes as previous films, and really was a great way to end Phase 4. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Much love.